Hi guys, this isn't so much a build video, it's more of if you're thinking of building it on icebergs. Now a lot of people have recently joined Rust and wouldn't have experienced icebergs before. There's pros and cons to icebergs. One pro being very rare you're going to get raided because people don't want to swim all the way over here, fall off the side of the iceberg and die. But the cons are the ground's uneven, you have to climb ladders. If you destroy one ladder, they tend to all break. I mean, swimming over here with all your ladders, putting them up for someone just to shoot one out, they'll fall, you're pretty screwed. They can actually decay as well, so you're going to have to have plenty of rope to actually get back and forward to your base. These are more used in modded servers, but clans do use them vanilla for storing the loot. This is just a quick clip to show you what you can and can't build on icebergs and how to try and defend them as well from people actually laddering up. Just bear in mind, these icebergs are going to change a little bit, even though they've just come back in. It was in the devlog that they're going to be altered slightly. So we'll start with showing you how to actually get on an iceberg. The only way to get on an iceberg is with ladders. Now, if you're a solo player, try to get rope and everything else, it can be quite expensive to try and get all the ladders needed. I'm using this no clip at the minute just for speed. You're literally going to have to build ladders all the way up. But bear in mind, when you get up here, you have to make sure you get the resources quickly to put your tool cupboard down so no one else can build there. You can fall off quite a lot, it is quite glitchy, it always has been, it's always been a pain in the arse, but if you're close to the land, people will just shoot you down, so you need to be careful in that as well. Try and build around the back. There's different types of icebergs, some are flat in the top. Try and get one that's as flat as possible, because building on the slope ones can be an absolute pain. I recommend that you put a TC down straight away, stone it up, do what you want. I'm not going to do a base design on an actual iceberg itself because it's pretty pointless, because the icebergs are pro generated, so they'll change shape all the time. Just go for a small base, that's probably your best bet. Next I'm going to show you how to defend from people getting up. You're going to have a lip regardless, so when you're getting in and out you can actually access the iceberg. So you have to fortify that as much as possible. Now I'll go through some options that I feel could probably help you if you decide to build an iceberg. So to stop other people actually getting to the iceberg itself after you're up, you have to protect all angles. I mean, I've raided a few and been raided on a few icebergs. You have to literally butt everything up as best you can. Treat it like you treat the Twig update. Treat the iceberg as the top of your roof. Try and stop people getting in via a ladder, so you're going to have things to stop them from getting up. Metal barricades, high stone walls. High stone walls will be hard though because they're not flat surfaces, so you might have gaps. They can also probably put ladders on some of it, and if you don't have walls all the way along, they can jump along anyway. If you put traps on here, you're probably best leaving a little gap so you can run around the sides of it as well, because remember, when you put that on there, you're not going to be able to really fill it back up unless you put ladders out as well. It's just wasting fucking rope. Using a little barricades as well, sand barricades, just tuck them all along the side, that will stop people getting in. Now your main entrance, you can put a high stone gate here, so it's not too bad, and if you put some shotgun traps at the side of that, then they're not really going to get in, to be fair. But you need to bear in mind, when you are doing any kind of high walls, it is extremely difficult to get them to match up all the way around. When you look, you will make mistakes with the high stone walls because the ground changes, and you'll have to leave gaps at the front which will let them in, and it becomes a bit of a shit show, to be fair. You see, that one's just not going in at all, so you need to bear that in mind when you're doing it. Now the good thing about icebergs, you can actually fit a large furnace, and you can fit the oil burner as well. You can even stick these outside your repair bench. So they are extremely useful. They were extremely popular when they were first in. Everyone used to clamber for icebergs. They are more popular on the modded servers. You need to be careful on the space that you're using. To show you an example, we have another iceberg over here. This slope is extremely difficult to build on, so you need to bear that in mind when you're choosing which iceberg you will actually want to build on. You see here, you'll take this, take it down, and it'll go red halfway. So you're then going to have to start stepping it down every time you're doing it. and it becomes a pain in the arse as well, so everything's going to be disjointed, and before you know it you've got a multiple bunker base that you don't really want. So try and stay away from these ones unless you're going to build a small base up top and not worry about high stone walls, because you see high stone walls don't go on here because they're not flat. So that's the one bit I've managed to get. Yeah, all of it. You see how far I've went. I would personally keep away from those areas if you can. So making an iceberg base, you need to make sure you're in a flattish surface. Test it out first. Make sure your cupboard's in. Don't go blasé. And most importantly, make sure you're close to the coastline. That's not a far swim. You can make a little cunt tower if you want. Watch yourself from getting shot over that side. What a lot of people used to do as well is have a respawn base over here, a little 2x1 with resources in it. F1 kill, go over there, do all your farming, and take everything back over to the iceberg. That was a common thing that people done. It did slow down offline raiders. You didn't get a lot of offline raiders on the icebergs, simply because it was too fucking cold. I mean, this is really close. You're probably going to want to go out double this. And I would probably put a base down here as well. So if you are getting attacked, you can start defending from down here. So bear all that in mind when building icebergs. As I said, I'm not going to do an iceberg base because the icebergs change every time, so you can't get a flat lie, and if people start building on them, it's not going to work really. So any iceberg bases that pop up, bear that in mind. If you try to build on them, it can be resource intensified. I would go small, get your high walls up, get your defences around the side, but until this is safe, I'd have a base over the other side as like a starter base, just a 2x1 stuck over there, nice and tidy. I go la 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 la.